because per Adam Schefter, Myles Garrett, Cleveland's own, has requested for a trade from the Browns. According to Schefter, the Browns dug in and do not plan to trade the Defensive Player of the Year. Should Cleveland trade Garrett?
Colin, this is another saga of the Cleveland Browns being the worst-run organization in American sports. The Haslams are so far separated of what it means of what it means to have a good football team on the field. They've had Andrew Berry there making mistake after mistake at the general manager position for years now.
So who's at fault here to you?
I think it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of Andrew Berry and it's a mixture of ownership. It's one of the worst-run team in sports, dating back to the Watson deal. I mean, you got one playoff win, a winning percentage under 50%, and 2 playoff appearances.
Are they going to trade him?
I think they'll cave because I don't think Garrett is going to budge. I just watched Hassan Reddick not play for an entire year. I know they're different players.
I don't know if that's the blueprint, but I understand.
You understand? I just saw a player really dig in and not move on this situation. He doesn't want to be there. Isn't that something? There's something to be said there. You got a guy in the locker room who doesn't want to be there. I understand he's the best defensive player in the league. I'm more, and I don't blame Garrett at all. I'd get out of Dodge too, and the fan base doesn't either. From what I've seen, the fan base is more on the edge of, we have the worst owners in sports, we're the worst run organization, and this is just another chapter in the horrible history of being a Brown fan. It truly, Colin, nothing surprises me with that organization anymore.
Well, he wanted it. This was sort of writing on the wall, though. We expected this, right?
Not him coming out and requesting for a trade. I have sound of Andrew Berry, and this was a couple of weeks ago, Andrew Berry talking about, because like you said, the writing was on the wall. Garrett said he was frustrated.
Well,
he wanted to talk to ownership and the GM about what the direction of the team is.
So they clearly didn't sell him.
And here's what Andrew Berry had to say after his meeting with Myles Garrett.
My anticipation and expectation is that he'll have a direct and expect him to be here, and retire a Brown, quite frankly.
And after he said that, Garrett put in his letter to Adam Schefter that I'm not in the sense of if we read the letter, he mentions he's throwing Andrew Berry under the bus, saying I'm trying to win Super Bowls and I can't do that here. And that's the fact of the matter. I don't blame Garrett for one.
Now, what do you say about the management coming?
I just think it's them trying to flex their muscle. You can't have a guy that doesn't want to be on the team. We're seeing that right now with Jimmy Butler and the Heat. I understand it's a different sport, probably different caliber of player, but it's just such a big distraction. The guy doesn't want to be there anymore. Like, you're really
player empowerment's taking a beating here.
Like, Colin, the Browns are. I know they think they are because they're the most delusional lot in the NFL, and they think they know everything.
All right.
But
get to the point.
It's just they're not competing for Super Bowls. And if you're Myles Garrett, I don't blame him for wanting to play in big games and where it matters the most in the playoffs. That's not going to happen in Cleveland. They're the court gestures of the league, and I'm sick of it.
Are they expected to compete for Super Bowls?
I have sound from Adam Schefter, Christian, saying that they think they are, and then they think that Myles Garrett should basically get in line and play for the team.
We have a team here in the Cleveland Browns. I know we get swept up in the moment, and I think that they are dug in and entrenched in their stance that they're not going to trade Myles Garrett. That's not the kind of player you move on from. You're talking about arguably the best defensive player in the league, 29 years old. That's a player that helps you win a Super Bowl, and that's what the Browns want to try to do.
Now, one thing that's interesting. Hold on. One thing that's interesting is just about a week ago, we were talking about not signing there and basically avoiding everything that Myles Garrett is dealing with right now. The Giants were not in a position to win a Super Bowl. They're still not in a position to win a Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is viewed as a player to help you get to the next edge, and instead of taking the homegrown discount and sticking with the Giants, he went to a team that is more adequately suited because the team he is signed with cannot suit his talents. He wants out.
I understand the comparison. Different position. Edge rusher is far more important than running back. The Browns could offer him the most money, and they will try to offer him the most money in order to get him to stay. I just think he wants to play in big games.
Well, he has a contract already, right?
But they're going to try to give him more in order to stay. That's my 2 cents. But Barry, Haslam, it's not working out. Worst run team in sports right now.
I mean, what's his contract situation looking like right now? He signed a 5-year, $125 million contract.
We're going to try to lure him with an extension and try to get him to stay and give him the most amount of money.
I mean, if he doesn't want to be there, I have a hard time seeing the Browns trying to sell him on a vision. If they haven't already, I don't anticipate anything changing in the near future. He wants out. He wants out now. You only got a certain number of years of your prime. So, see ya. Goodbye, Myles Garrett. Let's see if the Green Bay Packers come calling. Number 2.
Number 2.